Hello everybody, welcome back to some Flight Simulator. Let's go ahead and get some things unmuted here. No face just yet. Thought we'd go through a little bit behind the scenes before we get into Flight Sim. So if I click on this, you will see we are in our simulator. We are where we landed on the last stream. But if I go ahead and tab back into the thingy screen, give me a second here. Get to the right one. So here we are. So this is the behind the scenes stuff of FSEconomy, the virtual economy that I fly with for Flight Sim. So you can see my bank balance is very much negative here. Very negative. Got some cash though. We need to fill up before we do our next flight. Our next flight is from Pontiac Municipal, which we'll get in the flight planner in a minute on the stream, in the sim. And we're going to St. Louis, Missouri. So gonna need some fuel for that. I could do the distance here and see how much we need. We've probably got plenty in the plane. I mean, yeah, we only need 12 gallons of fuel. I like to always have a bit of fuel on board. Never know if you need to go around, never know if you need to fly somewhere else. So go ahead and Central Pontiac. Yep, go ahead and get it back up to 40 gallons. You can see there's a few like pre-selected things there. So now that's done, all I'm gonna do is on here on my little thing, click that flight and then straight into the sim. And now I can go ahead and put the other camera back on and you can see me. There we go. See my ugly mug. So we'll go ahead and get the plane set up ready for flight. Yeah, I don't really bother with checklists. I know I'm not super realistic, but in all fairness, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to just have fun, chill, and fly the distance. So that's all set up. Let's go ahead and get into the plane. And I need to go ahead and instantly get the EFB up and get that switched back over to the Garmin. That's the only thing I don't like about this add-on is it doesn't have like a save state to say, oh, you've had the PMS50 mod in. We'll leave that in for next time you load up the plane. Every time you have to reset it, I just don't. It's a bit of a gripe I have with the plane. On the add-ons I've had for like X-Plane 11, for example, one of the ones I flew with on there, it saved the state of the plane. So when I changed the GPS out for a more advanced one, it'd stick to that add-on. But it's only a minor little gripe of mine. Go into the flight planner. The other thing you could do, of course, is use the variants in the actual flight plane selector thing. We need to do our route right now. So let's get that to auto, and we are Pontiac Municipal, and we're going to bring back up my thing here. 1H0 should be Krevkar. I don't know how to spell that. How to pronounce that even. So we are flying south. We're going to be going to runway 34. Looks like it's a paved runway. I think we're going to be going over, I don't know what river that is, but it's near St. Louis. I don't want to do that. I want to do find route, see if we get any. When you do find route, sometimes you get a few little like flight route bits. Like it'll take you a few VFR. Not going to do that, so that's fine. No waypoints to worry about. We'll go ahead and send that to ATC and avionics. Now, of course, I'm trying to figure out how to get Flight Sim bot set up, but I don't want something that's going to not. I want something that's going to link in with the sim that I don't have to upload flight plans to, because I don't want to have a massive list of redundant flight plans for just a small little flight. I only do GA, so we don't need big, long flights. We'll go ahead and get the plane ready to start up. I'm going to get my controller turned on. Oh, my girlfriend's sending me pictures. 1 second. Phone's not unlocking. Oh, she's just sending me some times off. I need to, so that's something to book off when I'm at work tomorrow. Right. Get the plane started up, so go ahead and get the master battery on, avionics on, get the magnetos on. Again, because this plane is nice and simple, all I have to do is put some mix. I probably need to pull that out. No mixture. and then just pull the starter on. And she starts up nice and easy. I love this. I love these older planes. They're so simple. Now, quickly check our fuel is on both. Yes, it is. I should have checked that before I started it. Trim is set, so we're all good in that regard. Now, I'm not going to do the thing I did yesterday. I'm actually going to use the pushback because I was an idiot yesterday and didn't use the actual pushback command. We want to go ahead and turn our parking brake off, and then it's Alt P. I'm just going to switch to third person view quickly. Okay, it's not pushing me back. Hopefully pushback works. Okay. I was gonna cancel that. I'm gonna power it through. I'm gonna apply full left, full right brake, full right on the stick. Why is the plane not turning? My nose wheel wasn't turning then for a minute. I don't know why. Try that again. I'll actually check if my flight plan was on here as well. It's not. I need to set my destination in here. What was my destination again? 1 Hotel 0. Okay. 1 Hotel 0. Enter. Yeah. There we go. Plane's not turning on the taxiway like it should. I don't know if it's just weirdness with the sim. Okay, I know what it's done. It's decided to reset some of my buttons. I set the POV buttons to work, and it's just gone and reset them again. I don't know why it does that. Really annoying that. Right, I want to go on to here. Go back into camera now. All right, so what's it saying that does? That's fine. Go back into the camera settings now. Cockpit camera. Do and undo. Should be a reset here. Yeah, it's just decided to completely ignore the settings. That's annoying. That's just a flight sim thing. I don't know why it does it. It just wants to... Okay. But the plane turning. Whoa. I might have to reset the flight because this plane does not want to. Sim's being really weird today. I don't know. This was working fine yesterday. Like the plane would turn and respond to my inputs. Like it's almost impossible to taxi this thing. Bike brakes release. Paint. Now it seems to be behaving a little bit, but now we're going off road. Okay. Or we can work this thing out and figure out why it's playing off on me. Come on, plane. Holy fuck, what is this sim doing? Rudder pedals don't want to rudder the plane, don't want to turn the wheel. Okay. The nose gear's barely working. Quickly check the rudder settings because this has been really weird. Landing gear, right. Wheel steering. That's why it's removed the steering axis. But even then, it's still not steering, is it? My rudder pedal was slipping as well. I don't know why it's not. It didn't save that. And I just this game, this sim is being really trying to test me today. Yeah, the steering axis is fucked. It just doesn't. It doesn't want to respond. It was working yesterday, but it just doesn't want to respond to input now. This is like typical Microsoft product. It doesn't like to... I'm actually a little bit annoyed right now. Why is it... It's almost like it's decided to lock the gear. Okay, we've got... No. I might have to restart the sim in a minute because it seems to... doesn't seem to want to respond to nose wheel input. Once we're in the air, this won't be an issue. It's just I can't taxi the plane like this. I'm gonna do it on an Xbox controller because I know it's gonna work. Even that's not working. Okay, it's a sim. Right, let me reset the sim because this plane does not want to. Technical difficulties, guys. Great start to the stream. The sim doesn't want to respond to nose wheel input. Right, let's check this. Turn that off. Auto mixture I don't care about. Shouldn't be anything in here for rudder now. Turn that off. I don't know why it's just... It just really doesn't want to take in control input. And what we're going to do... I'm going to restart it very quickly because it's just it's just annoying. It's like it doesn't like the idea of flying. What we'll do, this doesn't take long to get started for me. Oh, got all this removed. Okay. Okay, the rudder's working like it should be. Let's reset that as well. That's annoying. Okay. Even that's on, beacon on. Magneto's both on. Give us another try. Okay, the nav set up again. Pretty much set up again. Let's take two, shall we? Hopefully this time. There we go. Actually doing as it should now. Yeah, I had no idea why it was doing that. It's a little bit weird. Don't need to use as much brake input now to taxi. I don't have to do it by slamming on the right-hand brake. Hit it to what I needed it to do. Because that's not really a good way to taxi. It's just the plane's really big, and that's when you want to use differential braking to get it to go where you want it to go, and use differential engine thrust as well. It's a small little Cessna. It doesn't need it. Did I restart the flight in FSEconomy? That's a question. I didn't. Okay, done that now. Runway's clear. It is. We're not taking off yet. We're just going to run ourselves down to the end of the runway. Oh, there's actually a little flip around bit that I just missed there. Alright. We're only playing on the runway anyway. Adjust my rudder pedals quick before we go toga. Okay. Get it going. I don't like this camera angle. There we go. Not a very good takeoff, I'm not gonna lie. But we're up. We're up, aren't we? We shouldn't have any flaps, but we'll just... Again, Dim's just gone and overwritten my controls once more. So I had buttons here to do flaps and stuff, and it's just gone and rewritten it to what it wants. I absolutely fucking hate this sim. It's flight control surfaces, primary control surfaces. That's secondary. Yeah, it's just gonna delete all the flap settings. Look, so I have to reset this to press. Oh, no, that's why. Decrease flaps, retract. For some reason it's set to do the visual markers thing. I need to figure out what control that is because it's really annoying me now. We'll do that at the end of this flight though, because we shouldn't need to use flaps right now anyway. Turn on the autopilot. Plane's got a little bit of shake. We're using real world weather today. I thought I'd set it again. See how it does. I'm gonna be greedy and try 400 feet per minute. Pull back on the throttle a little bit and hopefully we can keep it at a nice speed today. About the shakes. I'll feed it a little bit more if I can. Bring those RPMs nice and low. We're not climbing aggressively, so we don't need to worry about we don't need to worry about having too much power on the climb. We're only going to about 3,000 feet again. She seems happy. Guess we've got quite a bit of a crosswind today by the angle of attack. Right, I'm gonna quickly have a look at this control setting though, because this really annoys me. Under maybe under menu, accessibility, no. World map, no. User interface, no. Not under there. I'm trying to think what this like marker thing's under. No, it's not under there. Flight assistant, no. I think it's under here somewhere. Don't know why it wants to map that. I hate that. There's things I love about this yoke, but there's things I'm not blaming the yoke itself. I'm blaming the sim because I think the sim's. I don't know why it likes to just do its own thing under the hood. It's a Microsoft product, so it kind of explains why. You know how Windows likes to change drivers on you without you really knowing. Oh, what's 5M putting out? Oh, tail on upvotes. I'm good. Don't need that. I don't do server upvotes. Right. So we're losing out. Okay, we're losing speed, so I need to give it a little bit more throttle. I'm going to bring it down a little bit in terms of the angle of attack. Right down to 200. We had this the other day. I don't know if it's just the plane's performance or if it's just me. It means I'm going to have to sacrifice RPM for actually be able to stay in flight at a reasonably comfortable altitude. We'll level off in a minute anyway. We're going to get to about 3,000 and level off. I'm going to grab a snack in a minute myself as well. There definitely is a little bit of crosswind today. I think I can have a look. If I bring up the EFB tablet in Flight Planner, if I... No, not that. I want to do that. Radar. I don't have winds. I don't know why it doesn't work like that, but... No, we don't have any weather. We're just sort of slewing a little bit on the flight plan. Which is fine. I think that just means we've got wind. We've got a bit of wind coming this way, which is why we're, well, probably this way actually, which is why we're slewing. Have a look on here actually. I think my PMS 50 can show weather. Weather. No, okay. Hour and 45 though. We'll just settle in and get comfortable with the sim. Grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, and chill. We'll keep an eye on the plane whilst we're doing snack stuff myself. I'm gonna check to out mode, let the plane level off, and I'm probably gonna grab a snack. So I'll swap the camera over just to the sim for a little bit, and I'll check it back on once I've eaten.
Airport Information Golf, 1600 Zulu. Wind 25 tree at 1 tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition 18,400 scattered. Temperature 20. Dew point 8. Altimeter 29er 89er. ILS runway tree 2 right and visual runway tree 2 left in use. Land.
I have no idea why the ATC wanted to kick in then. I'm just going to quickly mute that in sound. We do not need to hear ATC, and I don't care for it. Don't know where it is. I literally just want to turn the ATC off. There we go. Character voices. There, that's sorted. I'm gonna go back to being muted whilst I eat. I'm me back. Here we go. I'm a little bit hungry, so I had to eat something, and I've got some hot cross buns from Sainsbury's. They're like salted caramel ones. They're really nice, actually. Thought I'd try them. I have got plenty of snacks in. So I hope everyone in chat's doing all right. Got a nice day of streaming planned today, as always. This is the last stream of the week. Well, the last streaming day of the week, I should say. So we're gonna have today. Well, we're gonna have this flight sim stream as our day stream, and then our evening stream, of course, be DOJ roleplay. Now, I'm not gonna do much more. From, well, going forward the next 4 days, I'm going to be working. Be on night shifts. My first day off, I won't be streaming because, again, I'm recovering from night shift. I'm probably going to be a bit tired. So it'll probably be like 2 streams next week, I'm going to say. And the way that we're going to go forward with streams is when I come off night shifts, we'll be doing maybe 2 streams that week. Maybe 3. Well, 2 days of streaming, like where it's going to be a day stream and an evening stream, and then it might be a day stream to follow on the last day before I go back to work. Depends on how I'm feeling, what I have everything planned. It's all going to come down to sort of what my plans are, if my girlfriend's here, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, when I come off day shifts and I'm going on to night shifts, there's going to be a whole lot more streams. Because I'll be able to stay up later, basically. It's just all about my work-life balance. But it does mean you get alternating streams. So 1 week you're gonna get a couple, next week you're gonna get a handful. gonna be great. The other thing is, I'm still dedicating myself to putting all these streams onto YouTube. So whilst we are streaming today, I do have a recording going. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, welcome. We had our technical difficulties at the start. Now we've sort of overcome them. I had to just restart the plane and revamp the controls. Who knows what other control issues I'm gonna have. I've not even touched the trim wheel yet today, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of letting the plane trim itself out with the autopilot because I kind of don't want to touch it. But we've got this VOD, of course, going up to YouTube. Every VOD goes onto YouTube now, and yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, please come over to Twitch. Come and give me a follow. Come and watch me live on Twitch. You get to interact with the stream. You get to come down into chat and say hello. Have a bit of a conversation with me. I like Twitch because you know you get that interaction. I know I can stream on YouTube, but I think Twitch is just such a better platform to stream on. In terms of content that's coming up, I am still waiting on Oxygen David to release Whitcomb Park Farm. If I do this Google searchy search. Now, unfortunately, I won't be showing a Facebook post because I don't want to reveal any of my Facebook information, but no new updates. Okay, that's a shame, but when that comes out, we will be starting a new Farming Sim series here on Twitch, and again, it'll be uploaded to YouTube. I'll try and make it clear on all my VODs that they're a VOD with the whole, just like a VOD badge in the text chat, in the chat, well, not in the title of the video. If I ever do upload a YouTube video that's just pure YouTube, you'll get it on there. But yeah, well, that is the sort of things I need to get on my chest for now. I just want to have a look at so what can you guys look forward to later on the next stream, or okay, if you're watching on YouTube, on the next VOD? Well, you're gonna get a bit of DOJ again. We're looking at doing some Zero Yoning roleplay later on with the Zero Yoning guys. So you'll hopefully hear a few other people in the background of the stream, and you'll hopefully hear a little bit of, well, hopefully hear the behind the scenes of the videos there, well, the streams there. That's going to be interesting. Probably be a bit more criminal, a bit more investigation-y sort of stuff for the stream. And I'm thinking about doing a bit of Group 6 whilst I wait for all that to start up. So if you're interested in that, please come along later on, probably around like 9 PM UK time, so 4 PM Eastern. I know it's kind of early for those in America right now. Jesus, this wind's picking up. The plane's going a bit, yeah. I don't know, it's turbulence. That's the technical term, Luke. Turbulence. Some sort of new builds. We see where we are on the EFD. KBMI. What's anyone who knows airport codes? What's KBMI? That's what we're flying near. I mean, I could just turn my Xbox controller back on. I could just do the cheat way of looking. Central Illinois. Okay. We're flying over normal. Doesn't seem very normal to me. I'd say it's actually quite abnormal. I'm proud of that one. The altitude wise though, we're looking alright. Speed wise, we're looking good, about 110 knots. RPM's good on the plane. Carb temp is looking decent, maybe a little bit high actually. Deep out, okay. So we're good for everything there. Oil pressure's looking good. Battery voltage generator's looking good. So I'd say we're all good at the minute in the plane. Get a bit better review. I don't like this camera view. Little gripes that I'm finding with this plane, but we'll overcome those with time. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to afford something a little bit nicer in FSEconomy. I'd like to get something like a, I don't know, like a Bonanza or something. I'd also like to get like a, I don't know, something bigger. We'll find out. Find out as I earn money in FSEconomy, and depends on what I have available to me in the sim and available in the actual economy. I can look in the Discord as well at plane sales, see if anything comes up cheap. I might be able to trade the Cessna for a nicer plane. Oh, is that working now? Oh, look at that, it's working now. That one doesn't. The DOJ bot's been updated, so it actually works when I go live. That's good. Doesn't in the fan server, but I don't care about that one. Jesus, this wind. You can see how far off flight angle we are. We're like at least 20 degrees, 30 degrees off. In fact, the turbulence actually affecting our altitude right now. That wind must have really picked up in the last 5 minutes. I'll try and power through it. I hope you don't get motion sick or seasick from just watching videos, guys, because this is turbulent. Hopefully we'll fly through it. We've still got 125 nautical miles to go. Still about an hour and 20 minutes worth of flying to do. So I'm kind of hoping that as we get further across towards Illinois, that it sort of evens out a little bit. Especially when we get towards St. Louis. Yeah, it looks like it's gotten a little bit better again. Still liking this little plane though, it's fun. As I said, love-hate relationships. Oh, I've got a ping. Who's pinged me? Oh, just because one of the other Twitch guys has gone live. Unfortunately, mine doesn't work because I don't have the I don't know. Now I've got that title. Why doesn't it? I'll figure that out another time. That's in that Discord anyway. I'm just rolling through Discord whilst the plane's not doing much because I've got to catch up on some things. Apparently, my Twitch now coming live in the main DOJ Discord, which I like. That's good. That's a good thing for me. It's just the fan server now, which I don't really mind because fan server's not as the fan server's not the audience always that I want to be providing myself to, but that's just normal Twitch stuff. We have been coming up to an hour. Why hasn't that come through on here? Apparently I've had a follow, but it's not coming through on my Twitch, guys. I don't know why. Give me 1 second here. Apparently I've had a follow and I'm trying to figure out why it's not coming up to me. Give me a second here. I can see why. See Gatib, thank you for the follow, sir. I don't know why Twitch hasn't pushed it into the pings or anything. It might be that your account's not old enough. We'll see. Fortunately, it doesn't give me enough information, so I am sorry if you feel like I have missed out on your follow there. It does happen, unfortunately. How are we doing now, actually? Okay, we're doing pretty good. We're actually sort of mostly following a highway at the minute, which is very good, very, very good navigation on my part. Not that I chose the flight route. It is actually quite good for navigation, though. It means that I'm following somewhat of a realistic route. Now, I am flying with autopilot. That is a thing I like to do. If the plane's got it installed, you should use it. I mean, it makes your life easy. It means you can multitask, especially on flight sim. When I'm doing like FSEconomy hops, you know, it helps me out a little bit. And if I'm going to like a mountain or something, or if I'm doing like a little bit more scenic flying, maybe I'll take over manual control. But for the most part, if there is an autopilot installed, I'm going to use it. Go and minimize all that though. So we'll see how long this flight takes, how much longer we do with this flight. So it's about an hour and 15, so that'll be around 6 o'clock my time. So I might do one more flight today. That just depends on what's I can have a look now. Actually, if we pull this up, and let me quickly go on to the other camera here. Okie dokie. So we have a look at our destination, and we might not be able to actually select anything because since we have a VIP assignment on the where it says VIP there. That means, well, V there for VIP. That means we cannot actually take any other assignments on our plane whilst we've got that loaded up. So for now, we'll just have a look at what we've got. So we've got another 3 VIPs. That's heading towards Oklahoma. So that is actually quite a good way to go. We've got cargo, kilogram. Okay, they're not worth it. So I'd say that's actually quite a valuable flight to do next. But I'm probably going to save that for next week, potentially. Or we'll see what comes up in the next week when we come back to Flight Sim. If not, then we can always do a hop, though. We're not far away from a few big airports like this one. And in fact, there's also St. Louis International nearby. So we've got plenty of little bits of flying that we could do in the area. So we'll probably end up landing, and then we'll figure out where to go next week with Flight Sim. Hopefully the Wickham Park Farm mod comes out. I'll swap back over to the other camera. Unfortunately, we're in the Midwest of the USA, so it is quite flat and not a lot going on. But then this is like the very agricultural part of the US before you get down towards Texas and that. Well, I'm not great at geography, so if anyone wants to correct me on that, feel free. I don't mean offense. We're gonna look at though. At some point I need to look at some more planes because I've got the little Cessna, but I would like another slightly larger plane but single engine still. I've got the Bonanza from Serenado, but I don't like it very much because it's not as. So the reason I've got the Serenado is like, oh, it looks nice. Not Serenado, the Bonanza is like, oh, it looks nice. I like this. But I started trying to use it in FSEconomy, and it ended up being like with a decent amount of fuel, like 75% fueled up. It's no more useful than a Cessna 172, and a Cessna 172 is cheaper in FSEconomy. So I was like, well, why am I wasting money on the Bonanza, which yes can fly faster, but uses more fuel and can't take as many passengers when it's fully loaded? Well, I could just get a Cessna, fly a little bit slower, make more money in game. That's kind of what I decided to do. So realistically, I'd like something either single or twin engine that can take 6 or 7 passengers. Maybe I think it's the Cessna, it's one of the Caravans. It's like the earlier, I think it's a C207, might be a Stationaire that I like. But I don't think it's available for Best 2024, which is a shame. If it is, then great, I'll get it. If not, then it's a bit annoying. I think I do have one actually for X-Plane 11. But again, I really don't fancy going back to X-Plane. mainly because there's features I really like in FS 2024. Mainly, so the scenery I like because the way they've gone about doing the scenery with satellite photogrammetry, it's so much better. Like it's better than approximating it. So it means with base game scenery, you still have a high fidelity sim to play with. There's people like me who are more casual, who don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on all this new scenery, and you know, take up my entire PC's drives with it. I can still enjoy it. And then there's the updated flight model. There's the online features, which are kind of nice. There's a lot of reasons why I stick to Microsoft Flight Sim, despite the annoyances I have with controls getting remapped overnight. But that's something I can live with. Very much something I can live with. I'm actually going to press on my yoke and put the chronometer on. Which doesn't work because I have to enable SIP Connect. If I do that quickly, and you won't see this because it's behind the scenes stuff. I don't have to do anything with Sim Connect for this because I've already got Sim Connect installed for FSEconomy. This doesn't have a connection for FS 2024. It's only FS 2020, so it's not perfect, but it's given a master caution, alt, and DH. Okay. I don't know how to connect this up and use it a little bit better because it's... Yeah, it doesn't seem... Oh, sorry, there you go. It doesn't seem to work properly. I'm a bit spontaneous today. My body is like, yeah, look, we're gonna do this now. Internal ADHD, I guess. Undiagnosed. I wouldn't... Not been diagnosed with anything. Anything but the hip condition I had when I was born. And appendicitis. I had appendicitis. That hurt like a bitch once. Right. We're always going to break the 100 knot mark now. 100 nautical mile mark even, not knots. Even though we're doing about 88 knots ground speed. I'm actually thinking about doing a review video of this yoke at some point. One of those things, I need to learn how to video edit, but I'm thinking about it because I want to do a bit more... I kind of want to do a bit more YouTube content as well. I need to learn how to edit. I don't know how to edit. I'm not gonna lie. And hello on YouTube. This VOD hasn't been edited. It's just a VOD. I'm lazy like that. But yeah, I need to learn how to edit and do that sort of thing because if I can make my content look good and, you know, do some good review stuff, that's gonna take me where I want to go. But I was looking the other day at my Stream Element sponsorships, but to be honest, there's none that interest me. I mean, I look at this now, so MU Dark Epoch doesn't interest me. Star Trek Fleet Command. Okay, I like Star Trek, but... And I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, by the way, so it doesn't really work when I'm saying I like Star Trek and then a Star Wars poster, R2-D2 pillow, Luke, I am your father pillow, and a Star Wars t-shirt, but I couldn't do that sort of game. It's not the type of game I enjoy. I'm looking through these again, like, so there's also free cash. I don't know what that is. I don't really. I'll have a look at it quick. So, make money online by playing responsive. Yes, yeah, I don't like that. That's not my thing. Enfield, I don't know what that is. It looks like anime girl boobs. I'm not really sure about that. Zenless Zone Zero, again, don't know what, never heard of it. The only one on here that I've heard of is Marvel Strike Force, and I'm not really interested in streaming that either. So for me, it's like, why go for one of these sponsorships when none of them interest me? And that's where you get the unbiased side of Luke, because I'm not going to go for a sponsorship unless it's one that I'm actually interested in, and I kind of want. I'll be honest, if I go for a sponsorship, it's got to be something that I believe in personally. So, be something like, let's say, if a hardware company wanted to offer me some stuff, that's the sort of thing that I'd go for. I'm not interested in. I'm really not interested in anything else. That's not me saying I want a company like Corsair to come and give me a load of free stuff. I don't want that. It's got to be. It'd have to start. I mean, it'd have to start by me being like, yeah, I believe in this product. I like it. I paid for it out of my own money and I love it. Like my keyboard. My keyboard is a great example of that. I've got a Corsair K100, and this keyboard I've had for going like 6 years now. Either 6 years or 5 years I've had this keyboard. No, it's got to be 5 years I've had this keyboard, and I absolutely love it. It's like, it's got the optical switches. They're quick, they're nice, they're tactical. I like the feel of it. It's not too clacky. That's a big thing I don't like. I don't like a really loud clacky keyboard. And I paid for it out of my own money because it was one of those things I wanted. They're my yoke. I paid for my yoke out of my own money. And my headset, my SteelSeries headset, I love this thing. This is like the best this is the best headset I've ever owned. Again though, paid for it out of my own money because I need a new headset. My Corsair one was breaking, and I was like, well, some of the Corsair ones are a bit expensive. This one was a bit cheaper in Curry's, and I went and looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like it. I'll give it a try. Don't like it, I'll return it. And headset I've ever owned. I mean, it's got a. I don't use the mic that comes with it. Streaming, I did at one point, but it's there if I need it as a backup, and it is quite a good mic. Just back into the headset now. They're also very comfortable. I wanted ones that had like the second band support style thing. I think these are. You can see they've got like a little band there, like that. That's what I wanted because they sit more comfy on my head. You don't get a big. I mean, my hair's a bit of a mess from wearing headphones, but you don't get a massive skull divot from wearing them because they're a lot lighter on your head. We're still gaining altitude. I'm not too fussed about that. We've actually picked up some ground speed. But yeah, that's my tangent, I think, for the day. We'll see where we go. I probably will have another tangent. It's me we're talking about. I do like my tangents. Oh. By the way, guys, I've been saying this, of course, on every stream now. Let me do the command for it. I am looking for someone to help out with managing my Discord server. That link I have just, well, the command I've just ran, that is always going to be available until I fill the role. But there's a link there to a form you can fill out if you are interested in helping me out manage my Discord server. Or I'll help basically set it up and build it from scratch. If you are on YouTube, just feel free to come across to the Twitch chat at any time and do !DC manage. Even if I'm not streaming, it should work. And you can go ahead and fill that form in and help me potentially build my YouTube community. Not my YouTube, my Discord community. Basically, the server needs building up from scratch. I need someone who's good at doing that sort of thing. I need someone who's got experience with plenty of the bots. Someone who's got experience managing a Discord server, a Discord community. You do need to be 21 years or older to help out with that. I want someone who's mature and an adult, really. And the other big thing is you're potentially going to be moderating Twitch as well, so there needs to be that trust. So fill out the application to the best of your ability, put detail into it. Once I've had a few applicants, I'll start reaching out and try and see who fits the role, who I think is potentially going to be a good helping hand to my community. And if we don't fill the role, of course I'll try and do little bits myself, but I need the help. I don't always have the time to build out my Discord. And I will spend the time doing it if I have to, but it'd be like when I book time off work or something, because I tried to balance out streams, DOJ, non-streaming, work, and doing bits to better my life and spend time with my girlfriend when she's here. So again, one of those things where anyone who can externally help out with it would be great and greatly appreciated. And you get all the credit. I'm not going to take credit for it. See though, how far out are we? So we are now about 90 nautical miles left to go. About an hour, okay. Take a good look outside. So I'm not sure how far out of St. Louis we are. Still got a highway over to the side of us there. And the autopilot seems to be quite stable. I might take us down a little bit. We're still gaining altitude and I don't really want to be. Take us down at a very slow rate of descent. I'll just flick it back off when we hit 3,000 again. And I will just sort of pull back on the throttle a little bit. I need to get I'm going to get a clamp to go on one of my units over here in my kitchen, just as a temporary thing, so I can put my spare webcam on it. That way you get an angle of the yoke. That's one of those things I want to plan to get done. Maybe next month when I get paid, I'll get one. I'll just buy a cheap mic stand, cheap boom arm. As long as it's got the right 1/4-inch thread adapter with it. If it's not, I can buy one. I'll have a look actually. Have a look quick. And again, the one thing I don't like about my yoke, there's nowhere to put my keyboard. I had to put it to the side, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that. But again, it's one of those things. I can at least put my stream deck on top of it when I'm streaming. Boom arm. Now that one works. But that's 55. That's probably more I want. Something like that or that. Doesn't need to be a high quality, like super strong one. It literally just needs to be a cheap one that can hold. That'd work. There's one of those cheapo pop filters which I could throw away. Basically the same one my current webcam's held up with, so that would work. Got a cheapo clamp with it, but that'll work. And it's got the adapters, which is important. That'll have to be something I look at again, maybe tomorrow. Okay, we're still a little higher than I want to be. Tap in on the throttle a little bit. Oh. Sorry, just one of the other streamers in DOJ asking some help. I just said I'll be around to help him in a minute. So once we're done with this flight, I'll probably be finishing up the stream for the day. Let's see here. We've got about an hour left to go. Let Alex know that. Oh. Okay, let's put altitude hold back on and gain a little bit of speed. And I'm going to leave the throttle as is and see where we're at. Oh, yeah, I'm going to give Alex some help. He needs help with audio and scenes. So that's going to be a Twitch plugin and a maybe Elgato. Is Elgato Wave now free if you don't have an Elgato mic? Yes, I can tell him to use Elgato. Perfect. That's perfect, that. There we are. Still an hour. Probably need to tap in on the throttle a little bit. Get back where I want it. Alex saying thank you, go back to your stream. Well, I am on a stream. I'm doing I can multitask. I say. I'm not very good at it. Oh, traffic. What's this telling me? Oh, I've got a thing. I don't know what to press here to tell it to go away. Oh no, traffic. I saw it. Alright, there's traffic ahead of me. I don't see. It's probably no. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm just gonna ignore it. If it's a big plane, we just dive out the way, right? It's gone red. I still don't see it. I'm gonna go third person here and see if I can see it. I don't see no traffic. We're too low to be an issue. We're literally like 3,000 feet. We're not an issue. General aviation, we don't need to be very high up. Come on. To check on the music quickly, because it sounds a little bit... Nah, it's fine. Wait for the day I've gone through this entire playlist, because it's a very, very long... Very, very long playlist. Well, we've got progressive rock. Oh, it's mixes. No, never mind. I need to get more lists for... Well, more playlists for YouTube here. Because these are good mixes, but, like... I don't trust YouTube's own mixes, because they end up with copyright music in. And that is an issue. It's okay if it, like, gives you, like, a mini, like... warning, like if it mutes it because it thinks it's copyright, but then it's not actual copyright, so you will never get a strike. It's just being what's the word? It's being precautious. It's just trying to make sure that you're not going to get a strike. It protects them as well. At the end of the day, if you get a strike, Twitch gets affected by it as well, potentially for revenue. So it's fine as long as you're like careful about what playlists you use. I personally don't play I personally won't play copyright music on a stream. Some people do. They like to put it down nice and low so only they can hear it. Use the software I use. You can actually set it up so you could hear. I could set it now if I wanted to, so I could hear Spotify on my headphones, but you guys could hear the non-copyright stuff. I don't do that because there's always that potential of them bleeding over each other. And in all fairness, if I find no copyright music that I can enjoy or listen to without cringing, like this stuff, I can listen to this quite nicely. I'll just play it. Temperature outside the plane's quite nice. 20 degrees Celsius. I wish it was here now. It's looking quite mild outside at the minute. How's our fuel looking? That's the next thing to check. 3/4 of a tank on either side. It's pulling from both, so it should be the same on both. Do 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 do. Like for a second, I heard 30 Seconds to Mars. That's how good some of these tunes are. Of course, that is what sort of sets off the AI like detection things on YouTube and Twitch. But it is what it is. If they try and give you a strike and then you can point to it and say, yeah, that's not what you think it is, they'll listen to it again. They'll be like, okay, yeah, it's not. They'll send an actual person to listen to it and verify it. Like, YouTube's really bad. If I go onto my YouTube page in a minute, and I have a look at, and the plane's being a bit, okay. If I go onto YouTube Studio, it will tell me, if I go to content, yeah, it says copyright. If I do see details, it normally ends up being like this, literally the same. Like my recent stream that I did last night, it's very long. It's got a lot of it on there. But you gotta be careful. That's what I do. You can't avoid copyright strikes. It always, well, it's not even a strike. It's just a copyright warning. You can't avoid that because there's always going to be a little bit of warning. Oh, my plane's getting a bit jittery. I think we've hit wind. No, seems fine again. Come on, little Cessna. Just gonna... Let me give it a tap of throttle. Maybe power. If I do a collapsing right and I put full throttle, maybe it'll power through the wind and stabilize. I mean, we're doing 90 knots. We're doing all right. 45 minutes away. And we're not flying exactly into St. Louis. We're going into... Where was it? Let me... Oh, where is it? It tells me on here. You can't see this. Brev Hoa. Still St. Louis. It's Missouri, not Illinois. I'm an idiot. So Crev Coeur. If I look on the tablet here, we can see what angle we're going to be approaching. Okay, so we are going to have to, when we get there, like, when we start seeing the runway, sort of align ourselves. If I align myself with this highway, when we get close, I should be able to come in nice and easy. As long as I don't do a Harrison Ford and land not on the runway, we'll be fine. That is a reference to a real-life incident, by the way. Guy, Harrison Ford, Han Solo, was landing his... I think he flies a little Cessna like this, or landed on the taxiway, not the actual runway. Because he's old. He's probably shouldn't have had his pilot license anymore. Because it's not very easily done either, because like runways have like those big hash markers. I get it if it's like a grass runway and grass like taxiways. They're like pretty easy to get confused. But actual runways, nah. They're not that hard to confuse. Let me see. So if I... Yeah, this won't tell me my landing procedures because it's pretty dumb. 69, nice. I'm a child. Where are we at in a minute? What? If I do this, we can see what town we're flying over. 1 second, let the controller connect. But a minute we're over... Okay, it doesn't actually tell me. I would say it's Chatham. Based on that, that's an airport there. Sometimes it'll give you like place markers to tell you where you're flying over. Sometimes it doesn't. No, don't do that, Luke. That's gonna adjust the plane. There we go. I need to unbind the Xbox controller's sticks from flight surfaces because it's gonna... Every time I go and do something, it's gonna affect the plane and like make it do weird shit that I don't want to do. Greg, why are you... Why... I don't know. Greg. Yeah, nice conversation, mate. You know you're... That's pretty amazing, right? Your hair kind of like... Your hair's growing through your headband on your headphones. That's pretty... yeah, that's pretty cool. And oh, look at this. Your physics on your vest. Okay, Gregory. Nice conversation, bud. That's my co-pilot. He doesn't do anything because I turned all the AI assists off. That's the only thing now is I wish I'd planned a different route because this is now getting like... It's just literally a straight line from A to B. You take that risk when you do FSEconomy flights. Sometimes you get like a really nice route. Like the other week, I think I was on stream actually. I it took me around one of the Great Lakes. That it actually flew me around it instead of straight across it, which I really liked because you got a bit more scenery. Then sometimes you end up just flying over and yeah, backcountry America. Don't know half the place names, don't know any of the scenery because I don't live here. But we're on the grand journey, aren't we? We're trying to get this plane back to, well, not back to San Francisco, we're trying to get it to San Francisco, which is where we're going to base it. So as we fly further west, we're going to get more scenery. Sooner or later we'll be flying, probably be flying over the Rockies. No, not the Rockies. Might be the Rockies. I don't know American geography very well, do I? Obviously. Let me see. So we are in... Okay, we're in Missouri, so... Okay, I know I've got a bit of an idea of where I am now. Yeah, so we'll be heading towards Kansas next, most likely. Kansas or Oklahoma. Then we'll be heading over Colorado and Albuquerque, Arizona, and then into California. So we do actually have, like, as we get closer to Colorado and New Mexico, we're going to get a lot more of that, like, Wild West scenery that I love. Because at the minute we are pretty much directly in line with our final destination. All we have to do is head exactly west. Which is pretty cool. But it's just a lot of flying. Honestly, a lot of flying to do. And I'd love to do some hops off stream so that, you know, we get there sooner and we could just stream the nice stuff. But like, part of the whole point of me doing this on FSEconomy is showing that you can fly from A to B in FSEconomy and enjoy the scenery. Of course, this plane is old. It's not. So in FSEconomy, it's basically brand new. Like, it's got how many hours on it? If I go open up my FSEconomy tab, it tells me my plane has got 14 hours on it. So it's basically brand new, barely running in terms of planes. But of course, I'm flying a really old model of a Cessna 172. It's again. Mainly because I want this, the PMS 50. I don't want the full glass G1000. I don't like it. I've said that before. G1000's nice on certain planes, like on a Caravan, Grand Caravan Cessna. It's quite a nice thing to have a G1000 because you've got a turboprop plane. So you've got quite a more complicated engine. You've got a bit more of a commercial feel to the plane, so you are going to be flying a lot more commercialized routes in that. Even though it's a small plane, you're still going to be flying routes that are normally quite set, and you're going to be flying in IFR flight conditions. So G1000 makes sense, but in a small little general aviation plane like this, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's worth, like, it ends up being worth more than the airframe, and that's not. I don't see the point in that. Especially to people who are new to flying and learning how to fly in a flight sim. So I know what every single gauge in this plane does because I've got plenty of times in the sim. So like this one's your turn indicator. So when your wing is aligned with the left indicator there, in 2 minutes you should make a full revolution. Same thing goes to the right. That is a compass. That's your airspeed, so that's basically like your mile per hour gauge in your car. That is your angle of attack. It's your, I can't remember the exact name for it, but basically it indicates your angle of attack. So if you're in the blue, it means you're pointed up. If you're in the brown, you're pointed down. And the white line, the dividing line is the horizon line. That's your altitude, your altimeter. That one is your vertical speed gauge. So again, that's your angle of attack. That's how far up you're pitched up or pitched down. And it measures in feet per minute. So 5 is 500 feet per minute. That's another compass. That's basically another compass. You can set this so it's got little guides, so it's to tell you how far off your route you are. That's your RPM gauge, oil pressure, suction, so that's how much air your plane's pulling in, carb temperature, oil pressure, and then you got that's an ammeter, tell you that the plane's charging or if it's drawing too much power. And that's your engine temperatures down there. This thing doesn't have cowl flaps, so I don't have any way to like get more air in and out of the engine. Some do. You can control how hot that engine is. So if you're in like really cold conditions, you want to keep as much heat in. If you're in really hot conditions, you want to get all that air out to keep the engine cool. These engines are air cooled. I know a lot about planes and flying, but I just don't do it in a. I don't like doing it in a like really strict professional manner. I like doing a bit more casual fun flying to like try and show that aviation can be fun. So I don't, you don't see me doing millions of checklists. I mean, most of the checklists for this sort of plane I'm doing whilst I'm flying anyway. I have auto mixture on because again I'm casual. I'm not trying to be ultra realistic simmer. Instead, we're doing it for the scenery, to enjoy it. And like earlier on the start of the stream, when my plane didn't want to turn properly. That was funny. It's Polarized. Thank you for the follow, sir. As everyone's just said, hello there. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're good. We are currently in the middle of a flight. We're flying from Pontiac, Illinois, and we're flying into St. Louis. I'm doing really good, mate. I'm doing really good. Just a nice chill Friday for me. Last day before I go back to work for 4 days, well, 4 night shifts. So doing a nice daytime stream, and then we'll be back again in the evening. But yeah, we're flying into. We're not flying directly into St. Louis Airport. So that is, where is St. Louis? So St. Louis International is that one there. We're flying. We're actually going to be flying directly past it, and then we're going into. I can't remember the name of it. It's a. Looks like it's like more of a cargo style airport. Well, it's a general aviation field. But that's where we're flying into, and that's not me that's decided that route. That's what I found on FSEconomy, like flying assignments to get me towards my end goal, which is San Francisco. And we will get there eventually. What have you been up to today? Flying A320 from Portland, Oregon to Edmonton, Canada. Good flight, that. Pretty much going not quite the opposite of what I've done, but doing a good route, I see. I'm actually, this plane, when I got it in FSEconomy, it was from Toronto. That's where I originally started flying this plane from, and we've flown it from through streams, I think. Well, yeah, I think I've done it all on stream. We've flown it over the Great Lakes towards Detroit, then towards Chicago. Now we're heading towards St. Louis, and I'd say we're about halfway. Maybe not quite. If I look at my Google Maps here, where's St. Louis? Actually, no, we're not about halfway. We're about a third of the way. My geography again isn't very good. I just bumped my yoke like an idiot. The plane doesn't like that. Edmonton is Vancouver, I think. If I'm not wrong. No, Edmonton's the other side, isn't it? You have to forgive my very poor geography. Is Edmonton East or West Canada, or is it Central? You have to correct me. Yes, so let me go ahead and do the thing here. There is a form there. If you want to go ahead and fill that one out, you can go ahead and put in your application for it. Again, I'm gonna wait until I've got a few applications through before I make a choice on that. Everyone, I'll be considering everyone who applies, and I'll be hopefully reaching out to you. I'll probably ask you a few more questions. Try and get to learn a bit more about yourself. Ultimately, I'm looking for someone who can be trustworthy, who can do the job quite well. Having northeast from Oregon, yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was. I'm not, again, not very good at, not always great at geography. I'm certain places, like you could say, like, okay, Tampa, Florida. I can tell you where that is. I could roughly point to it, but no, Toronto, probably. Vancouver, yeah, okay, I can point out Vancouver quite well. Portland, I roughly know where Portland is, but Edmonton is like one of those places I'm like, is that where I think it is, or is it not? I'm one of those people, I'm very 50-50 with geography. Like in the UK, like you tell me where to go and I probably can find it pretty quickly and roughly know where I'm going because I've probably been near it. But USA, yeah, I've not been to the USA before, so yeah, I think it's very 50-50. It's sometimes I can be brilliant on a dime like that, and there I am. It makes me a very good GeoGuessr adversary, I guess. Like, it makes me good at GeoGuessr because you never know if I'm going to be good or if I'm going to be bad. I've played rounds of GeoGuessr when I'm like, 1 minute I'm just really good, I'm like that, and I can say I can just guess it really quick, and then the next round I'm like halfway across the globe because I've guessed the wrong place. I'll give you a little bit of a external view of the plane though, because this isn't any normal 172. Yeah, sorry, but if you're 14, I can't have you doing it. It's not that I've got nothing against you being 14. It's just that I need someone who is mature, who is, you know, independent, has a bit of life experience behind them, just because of the stresses, the type of people you might have to deal with my 5M roleplay community, attracting certain attention. Sometimes it is unfortunate. I've met plenty of people who are 14 years old who are extremely mature myself. I was a very mature teenager, but it's more just down to trying to make sure that people who are dealt with ERLC. I don't know what ERLC is. You have to educate me in that. I'm in DOJRP, the 5N community, the original. I guess that's Emergency Response Liberty City. I could be wrong. That's not something I've heard of. Alright, okay. Yeah, I don't play Roblox, so I'm not very good with that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm not going to judge it. My girlfriend is similar age to me, and she absolutely loves Roblox. I don't judge it myself. I like 5M just because of the well, just because of the map. I know I'm very much attached to the GTA map. It's like you spend, Jesus, 13 years, yeah, about half my life playing GTA 5. Fucking hell! Oh my god, that's okay. That's scary to think. So GTA 5 came out what? 2013, 2014? Came out, and I'm 25 now. I'm 26 this year. Put that into perspective. GTA 5 has been out half of my life, and we're not even got GTA 6 yet. Yeah, somewhere around that time. I feel old. That's that's the funny thing. I feel old. Ugh. I might have to. Ugh. Yeah, that's a crazy thought. That. I remember the day GTA came out because I was playing it at 13. My dad went to our local supermarket, stood in line, and got it for me. Didn't even tell me he was getting it. He came home and surprised me with it. I remember the first day online came out, playing it, and it just crashing like every 5 minutes. I remember so I was on Xbox 360. I remember having to put the first disc in to download the game, because it wasn't an online download at that point. You had to have the disc to download the game onto the console, and that taken about 4 hours because it was a hard drive on the console, and it's reading from a disc, which is an even slower read rate. I'm not doing myself any favors here. At the end of the day, I was born in 2000, and my siblings were all born in the 90s, so basically makes me an old fart. Basically an old fart. Tried running on GTA on your PC, it implodes. I know that feeling, to be honest. That my first PC that I built, well, back when I was a teenager, I gamed on the laptop. It had a very small GPU in it. It would run the old FSX. It'd run FSX perfectly fine, actually, really smooth. It'd run, what else would it run? It'd run like ETS, ATS. It'd run those perfectly fine. It'd run Automation Car Game Tycoon okay. It run what the games that I was playing at the time really well. Even Farming Simulator, it handled quite well. But then, the moment I wanted to get into modded GTA 5, inspired by Jeff Favignano when he did his LSPDFR series back in the day, I was like, oh, I need to get a better PC. So I at this point, I just started my first job at McDonald's, and I put together my first PC. I barely just managed to get LSPDFR running, and then the next day my PC completely bricked itself. I had to reinstall Windows. It was at that point I was like, there's got to be a better way to play modded GTA, and that's when I got into 5M. And that's how my story in 5M started. I joined DOJ for the first time then. That was back in 2019. And I sort of bounced around 5M community a little bit. And then I found one that I stuck with for a couple of years whilst I was in uni, and now I'm back to DOJ and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving life. But you look at my inspiration for the games I enjoy, the games I play, there's two people I can list, and that's a guy called Squirrel, a British streamer, and Jeff Favignano. And of course those two are friends. Well, I don't know if they speak to each other much these days, but it was actually Squirrel who got me into Jeff Favignano. Then Jeff Favignano, of course, with his LSPDFR content, got me onto the modded GTA side of things. So my love actually stemmed from simulators originally, doing flight sim, trucking sim, that sort of thing. But yeah, my first PC, if I tried to play this on my first PC, it'd blow out. It wouldn't like it very much. But my current one handles this perfectly fine, but that's... I didn't build this PC that I'm running now overnight. That's upgrade after upgrade. I built up. So it'd be a little upgrade here and there, and then the next upgrade. So started off on Intel Skylake platforms. So I started off with an i3 on a little B250 motherboard, a little ITX thing. Then I upgraded to a new case and a Z270 motherboard. Then I went to a i5 6600K, and then I played that until it just couldn't handle much anymore. It was maximum CPU whatever I played, and then I was like, okay. I sold my first car at the time because at uni, didn't need it, and I upgraded to Ryzen, to the motherboard I've got now, and a Ryzen 5 3600. Again, then I upgraded to a Ryzen 7 5800X, and then now the Ryzen 9 that I'm on now. Just about the little steps, save, and your dreams become achievable, and that's how I basically ended up with what I'd say is 2 years ago. I would say, oh, I'd never get a PC like this. But now I've got a PC I can really enjoy. I've even got a little hamster that runs in my AIO cooler. That's a through signal RGB. What I need to focus on now is we should be coming up on St. Louis soon. About 22 minutes away, so I'm not going to descend just yet because I need to. What I need to do is figure out where St. Louis International is. It should be probably not quite in sight just yet, but considering where we're flying, I think that might be the river we see on the map. So I imagine St. Louis International is going to be around here somewhere. If I actually zoom out, might actually be over here, I don't know. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to descend just yet because if you remember from the EFD, this thing, realistically what we need to do is fly over. We're going to be flying over the airspace for St. Louis International Airport, which means realistically we don't want to descend just yet. So I'm going to wait until what's happening with the plane? I think it's just a little bit of turbulence. Okay. Once we fly over the river, I can't remember what the name of the river is. It might be the Mississippi. I'm not sure. But once we fly over the river, we'll start a descent. And then once we get to about 2,000 feet, we'll halt our descent and we'll get the runway in sight, and then we're going to turn probably to the right over St. Louis and flip around and follow the highway to land safely at the runway. So this is telling us runway 34. We're probably going to go the other way and land on runway 16 just because of ease of navigation. I'm not sure if probably suggested this based on winds. So we're probably going to end up having a really difficult landing. And I realise you can't see that because I've put my camera's blocking it. As I was saying, we're going to fly in. We're not going to start descent until we fly over the river. At that point, we'll descend to about 2,000 feet. And then once we have the runway in sight, we're going to take a nice right-hand turn. Going to come out this way, do a 180. Use the highway, which will be to our right, as a visual reference, and hopefully we can come nice for a nice little touchdown on runway 16. And hopefully that is a smooth landing. Anything is possible. It is me we're talking about. Made this nice and easy for me. You got this, Gregory? Yeah? Okay. Gregory reckons we've got this, so that's the river there. Oh, it's there, actually. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry if you get a little bit motion sick from simulation flying. It's not the greatest thing in the world when you're flying in wind. This is actually real world weather that's on at the minute, so if you want to go to St. Louis, it's not very cloudy, it's quite nice at the minute, and temperature is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe about 20 degrees Celsius. Very nice weather. That's in the air. Okay, actually, we're about 20 miles away. I'm going to start my descent a little bit early, just because of how far away we are. So let's go for... I'm going to go for 200 feet per minute. We don't need to go too aggressive here. I'm going to pitch back just very slightly on the throttle. And when we get a little bit closer, we will engage our flaps once we've sort of done our turn. We don't need to be too quick here. Slow is better. And, okay, that's team speak. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, we are actually about to fly over the river. I think that's it there. I need to set up the prediction. I need to get a prediction box set up that can feed back with the sim, tell me when I've touched down. That'd be a great thing to have. There are some available, but again, they're either really old, and I don't know if they're going to work with FS 2024, or I don't fully trust them. I might try the old one I used to use, but again, I don't know if it's going to work with 2024. It came out in the last update was 2024, but they've not tested it. I don't think they've tested it with it. It uses SimConnect, so it should theoretically work. I mean, SimConnect is a very versatile client. It works with, I mean, it's what I'm using right now for FSEconomy, so it does grab the flight data quite well. I mean, approach is not active, but that doesn't matter. We don't need an approach right now. Okie dokie. So, river's there. Altitude's about 3,000. The Senate is quite well managed. Speed is good. What I really need to know next is where these highway bridges are. I don't see them. It's gonna be one of those tricky bits where, yeah, it bends over that way, so the highway's gonna be over here somewhere. See how this goes. It is the Mississippi River. I knew it is. It's the Mississippi and the Missouri. I actually probably can see where we're running. Not St. Louis downtown. I'm trying to figure out what airport it is and whereabouts it is. It's Lambert. Not Spirit of St. Louis. It could be Spirit of St. Louis. No, it's not. I was trying to like geographically figure out where we're landing in the sim and what the. I think it's south. Not a downtown airport. This is the hard thing trying to figure out. Where it is. Found it. There's a farmer's airport we're landing at. So we're actually going to have to be flying over the Missouri River in a minute. Now I've actually figured that out. That's what I don't like about the in-game flight planner, is you can't always figure out whereabouts you are. It's not always working great. Okay, now I've got that figured out. Let's go and level off, because give it a little bit more throttle again. So St. Louis International is somewhere over here. As I said, we're looking for... Wait, St. Louis downtown is either that one, maybe? Trying to figure it out. And... zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so we're 16 miles away. I don't think we're about to see it just yet. As I said, the best way to do this now is fly over it. And then once we've flown over it, we turn off the autopilot, come round, use the highway as our sort of reference point, and come into land. This could go well, or it could go very, very poorly. Either way, it's content. Alex, if you're lurking there, please, please, please go ahead and clip it if I mess up this landing in any way. Because I really need some clips. And this is a funny one. Okay, so that's the Mississippi there. That's the where is it? That one in front of us is the Missouri. So if I just keep visually navigating myself, we're about to fly over that one, and then so our airport's somewhere over here, according to the map. So we'll wait. What is this song? I don't know what it's done, but it's changed the music over. Chuck some synthwave on, because I don't trust what that playlist is doing now. Okay, it's 10 miles out. At this point, I get worried because we should be able to see where we're landing, and if I can't, I get a little bit annoyed. So that's one highway bridge. This should improve as we get closer. It's just got to load in the scenery. Again, with the plane doing that, it's a little bit disconcerting. I can't think words. Yeah, so should be that one there. I think it's that one there. Sort of just about see it. It's just about on the actual Missouri River. There's a highway either side of it, so that's the first highway. Second highway bridge should be over here somewhere. Use this one. I can try and confirm that. Yeah, so there's multiple highway bridges before it. There's two, in fact. So it's actually this one here we're looking for. So because it's taken us this way, we should be flying straight towards it. Didn't realize St. Louis looked like this. How pretty. It's all bumps and grooves. Scenery just not loading in properly. And this is why using stock scenery can suck sometimes. Because it's got to like think behind the scenes what to do to fill it in. And it takes up Wi-Fi to do that. I can actually see what my network's doing right now. Let's see. I mean, it's not doing much in terms of network at the minute. It's pretty good. Again, I run direct Ethernet. I'm not on Wi-Fi, so I run an Ethernet cable that goes all the way around my room to my network, my router that's behind me. Okay, 7.6 miles now. Can we see it? Bridge 1, 2. There, that's it. What we're gonna do, I think, I was gonna fly over it, but now I've got it in sight. Do we? Problem. Because if that's not it, then I'd be making a crucial mistake here. I'm gonna let the scenery load in a little before we go and make any aggressive maneuvers. Because that is the third bridge there. That is the highway bridge that we're looking for. So common sense tells me, okay, if that's the bridge we're looking for, we make the turn before it and get ourselves in position. But the other bit of me says, no, wait till you're a bit closer, let the actual scenery load in, because otherwise we're going to be a bit screwed. Yeah, because that's the big airport there. This bridge hasn't loaded in properly yet. What do you think, Gregory? If I get a flight sim bot, I should call it Gregory. That's what I should do. Set a custom account for it. Yeah, that's highway. That's not an airport. I'm gonna have to use the thingy to tell me. It could be that one. It's that one there. It is that one there. Okay, so I've got eyes on it. It's that little faint strip. So I'm gonna turn off the autopilot and we're gonna start getting ready to come in. So let's get all our pedals. I'm going to use highways here for navigation. So, see there's an intersection there in front of us. You can see a little bit goes to the left, and then you can see it goes back to the right. That's that one. So it comes this way, goes around there, and then comes back that way. It's that way we want to go around. So that's how I know where to make my turn. To come into our runway nice and slow. Now, what we're going to do is start extending my flaps. Gets nice and floaty, and increase the throttle again. What that does, that makes our plane nice and draggy. We're coming for a nice slow landing. Now this landing could go very nicely or it could go very poorly, depending on how well I get it lined up in a minute. What I don't want to do is make any aggressive banks at the minute. I want to try and get us sort of somewhat down and then level off at what seems like an appropriate altitude. Off the throttle a little bit, and we're going to start making our secondary bank now. Let's zoom in on our GPS here. It's giving us a line to align ourselves with. Oh, okay. Went a little bit aggressive there. Put my hands off the controls a little bit too far. Okay, we've got pappy lights there. They're all lit up white at the minute, which means we're too high. I'm going to sort of try and force us down a little bit. I can feel the wind in the environment at the minute, so I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm battling the wind right now. Holy crap, Clayton, come on. Okay. I can see why it wanted it to go the other way. Bit of throttle. I want to power up and out of this. You can see we're not very well lined up at the minute, and we're going to be fighting the wind. Now, I don't want to drop it in the Missouri River right now. This is a very shit landing from me. At the minute I'm just battling. And we're going to do a go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a go around. We're going to flip around and come the other way in. For me, it seems like we had quite a big updraft as soon as we got close to the ground. Not very nice to land in. So I'm just going to try and bring us back around. Okay, I'm going to level us off a little bit and we're going to sort of slowly bank around. Yeah, there's that horrible wind again. You can see my vertical speed gauge going a little bit mad there from time to time. Okay, I'm way too high. Way too high. This is a botched landing if I've ever seen one. This is not a good example of how to land a plane. Land I did yesterday was perfect. Okay, I'm gonna try and turn around again. I don't want to put it down in the forest. That wouldn't be very fun. Come on, plane, pitch up a little bit, please. Yeah, you wouldn't want me to fly a commercial airliner, would you? Okay. Feel a little bit more confident with our height now. Pull the throttle back. I'm just going to try and get it down now. I don't want to be in the air forever, but I can line it up pretty well. Oh, we're stalling. Really is a lot of poor weather at the minute. And this is why I don't fly with real world weather very much, because right now I'm just battling this plane. Come on. I don't care if I'm not on the runway right now. You can see how much I'm giving it just to get it to come down even nicely at the minute. I'm not even lined up and... Oh. We bounced a little bit, but given the... Oh, my pedals are slipping. Ah, there we go. I think given the fact that that was really windy, I could have done worse. No. Right, we'll get it taxied to the gate and then we'll end the stream there. I did not enjoy that landing one bit. Don't know if that shows. That wind, like, it seemed calm, and then the moment you get close to the ground, you can just feel it trying to take the plane off. Yeah, I didn't like that one bit. The moment, just like, as soon as you get below, as soon as you're like maybe about 500 feet off the ground, it was just like blowing you, trying to blow me across. And you could see the way that I had the plane angle trying to land it. For someone who's inexperienced with the flight controls I'm using, that was a bit of a nightmare landing. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like there's a bit of a hole in the scenery there as well. Right, because of the hole in the scenery there, I'm just gonna park the plane here and we'll call it there, because I don't want to fall through the map. So we'll go ahead and pull the mixture out, turn the plane off. I will pause the game volume. We'll go on to the big cam screen. Thank you everyone for coming out. I wish that could have been a much better landing from me. I've got a lot of practice to do with these controls, especially in really high wind conditions. Which is also why I normally fly without real world weather on, because I'm doing it for the scenery. We don't need the weather. Now I do need to challenge myself some more sometimes, so we'll see what we can do in the future. But we'll be back with more flight sim next week. We'll get a few more little hops done. Hopefully, maybe get the plane towards Colorado. That's the plan. Otherwise, if you want to come back to watch some DOJ, I will be live with that later on, maybe in about another 4 hours or so with that. Other than that, guys, I've been Luke. Have a great day. See you around.